WPSD Local 6, your breaking news and weather authority. This is Local 6 at 10 in high definition.
An explosion shakes the Murray State University campus and even homes miles away.
And it just like went boom. It was like it shook and we could hear it.
Kentucky State Police say that explosion happened in New Richmond Hall just before 5 this evening. This is Facebook video from Taylor Black. He lives in Murray. We know 2 people were injured, and we just learned about an hour ago 26-year-old Dakota Fields was flown to Vanderbilt Medical Center in Nashville. He is a Murray State employee. We don't know the identity of the second person, but they were treated on scene and released. My co-anchor Todd Faulkner is live on campus tonight. And Todd, you've got details on a possible cause, correct?
Possible, the key word here, Jennifer. It's still not clear exactly what caused the explosion. That from Kentucky State Police and the Callaway County Emergency Management Director. However, they are both saying that it's possible a gas explosion may be to blame. Tonight outside New Richmond Hall, a lot of this. Take a look. Broken up pieces of brick scatter the entire area. I'm going to step aside and we're going to take a closer look at the damage tonight. This is the closest we've been able to get to the building all evening. Debris, as I mentioned, litters the parking lot next to New Richmond Residence Hall. You can see drywall, plumbing, electrical wiring, all pieces of the building just hanging in the air. We've learned new tonight that structural engineers must inspect the area and actually sign off, give the okay before crews can enter the building. Lots of witnesses and those who live nearby gathered on the campus near the site of the explosion. Some of those people included the Moeller family, Sam, Kelsey, and 1-year-old Lucas. And at the time of the explosion, they were outside their home nearby. Sam said in the moment they decided to come and see what they could do, and he described the moment he heard the blast.
We were sitting there and we were playing with him outside, and it just like went boom. It was like it shook and we could hear it virtually. We were just like, she thought it was thunder. And we're like, well, there's no clouds in the sky. What is it? And so we were kind of concerned that it might have been something like an accident.
And if you're just joining us tonight, confirmation that we have learned in the last several hours, several hundred students here for summer school and for the Governor's Scholarship Program. We're told by the university spokesperson that those students living here on campus have been relocated. I specifically asked why be relocated if they weren't in this building, and I was told out of an abundance of caution. Joining me now, Local 6's Brianna Clark. And Brianna, you've been here at Murray State University near the site over the course of about 5 hours or so. How has the mood changed in that time?
Well, the hustle and bustle has definitely calmed down. When we first got here several hours ago, this place was surrounded by first responders. The road over there was closed off and you could barely get this close to the scene. And now we are this close to the scene. I walked around and spoke to a few people that live nearby, and one local woman says that the explosion was so big that it broke 2 of her windows.
I heard the explosion, it hurt my eardrums real bad for a second, and it kind of, like, I guess I was put in shock. And I just glanced, and there was like a big, like, dust of cloud, like smoke, all the way covering the soccer field. And then my next instinct was to run inside and make sure everyone else was okay.
Investigators have been out here surveying around the building. They say that they're not going to be able to get in until that it's cleared for them to get in safely. That might not happen until tomorrow morning. And as Todd mentioned earlier, this is the closest that we've been able to get to this building. Police and Kentucky State Police say that if it were to come down, that it would come down right by this zoned parking sign.
All right, Brianna, thank you. And as she mentioned, members of the media, this is about all you're going to see closest to New Richmond Hall. People are still asked to stay away from the campus. In fact, they've got yellow tape surrounding most of the area here. One more thing about those structural engineers. During that news briefing about 45 minutes ago, we were told that they were on their way. I asked where they were coming from. I didn't get a clear answer whether they were from out of town, out of state, or if they were local. But once they get here, then they're going to give the sign off to the crew members. However, lighting is an issue tonight. So the time that crews are actually going to be able to get in that building to take a look and start their specific investigation may not happen until tomorrow morning. Live in Murray, Todd Faulkner, WPSD Local 6.
All right, Todd, we'll check back in with you a little later in the newscast. Of course, all of you out there, the viewers, help us tell this story. Many of you sharing your pictures and your videos from campus with us. This is from our Facebook page, WPSD TV. Chris Smothers sent us that picture you see right there. You can see some people standing a ways back from the building, and of course you can see the walls are just gone from that. Then Lori Lovins Randolph sent us this picture. You can see the damage there. There's another picture she sent us saying thick yellow smoke filled with pieces of insulation drifted toward Murray State. Unfortunately moved away from that. Now we're going to look at some video that she sent us. Again, this is from Lori Lovins Randolph. She said this is sent by her boyfriend who was driving by when that building exploded. You can see a lot of debris in that video. You can check out these pictures on our web channel. Go to WPSDlocal6.com and look for this story. We're following another breaking news story tonight. One person is dead, 5 others injured in this crash on I-24 in Massac County, Illinois. Investigators say the car drove off the road into the median, then collided with the bridge deck. 3 people were flown to a hospital out of state with life-threatening injuries. To get breaking news right to your phone, download the WPSD News app and make sure to enable push alerts.
Now, your Weather Authority first forecast.
Another nice day out there, pretty mild.
Yeah, lightening the mood a little bit here.
Yes.
We did see some nice weather out there, although it turned a little hotter, a little more humid this afternoon. How about this video on our Baptist Health storm pins? You can see from Benton, Kentucky. Oh, Susanna posted this one saying the deer was playing peekaboo for a little while there, probably just being extra cautious.
Yeah.
With someone in the woods there taking video. But as we advance, you can see the weather overnight tonight is going to stay fairly quiet. We will see a few clouds drifting in from time to time. Temperatures not quite as cool as we've seen in recent mornings. By 5 a.m. we're down to 71 degrees. I will show you when showers will pop up for some of us starting tomorrow. The rest of us closer to the weekend. All in your hour-by-hour forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Jen, thanks. We have continuing coverage at 10. Who's to blame for this man's death? His wife, Martha Ligon, pleaded guilty but mentally ill to pulling the trigger. But a lawsuit filed today says the ultimate blame lies with Lourdes Hospital, 2 doctors and a nurse practitioner. Local 6's Blake Stevens joins us now. And Blake, why are medical professionals and the hospital being sued?
Well, Jennifer, attorneys argue they knew something was wrong with her, and instead of treating the problem, they let her go home. Martha Ligon went to Lourdes for a psychotic episode 2 months before the shootings. When she got there, staff records say Ligon was clearly psychotic. It says she was put in a restraint chair, that she was violent with staff, and Ligon said things like, "They killed him and they're going to kill you." Now, one of the doctors in the lawsuit is Dr. Daryl Palladino at Lourdes. He saw Ligon that day and drew up paperwork for her to be involuntarily hospitalized for 60 days. A judge wanted Ligon to be evaluated first. A mental health professional tried to evaluate her, but the medicine made Ligon too drowsy. The next day, Ligon went home. Attorneys and the state psychiatrist argue these crimes were committed because of untreated psychosis. The day Ligon went to Lourdes in April, the ER staff noted that Ligon was too disruptive there and they wanted her to be at Western State. But a nurse practitioner found Ligon to be okay to go home the next day, the 20th. Now, Dr. Suzanne Yoder signed off on that second evaluation, letting her go home. She is also in the lawsuit. Lawyers are also suing Ligon's primary care provider because evidence shows she knew this problem existed. In fact, 2 weeks before the shooting, her nurse practitioner, Pamela Diane Green, noted, "I am concerned about the safety of both Martha and her husband," and she noted lots of paranoia and said things were getting worse. Now, there was a social worker looking into Martha Ligon's state of mind. He wanted to get a mental health warrant, which would force treatment and take away Ligon's firearms. Attorneys believe if that nurse practitioner or the hospital had informed that caseworker, this tragedy could have been avoided. Now, this lawsuit includes Shane Courtney, who got shot in the shoulder after stopping on the road to see if Ligon needed help. Ray Ligon's children are suing Martha Ligon as part of the lawsuit as well. A jury will decide a dollar amount for Martha to pay them. Although she doesn't have any money now, they're seeking any settlement money she might receive in this suit. Jennifer.
Well, we did reach out to a spokesperson for Lourdes Hospital. They have no comment at this time. Missing financial records. That's the situation in Franklin County, Illinois. The county board voted unanimously today to hire an audit firm to do a forensic audit after noticing some financial records disappeared from the county circuit clerk's office last spring. The firm will begin their investigation immediately. Board Chairman Randall Crocker says he's hoping the firm will complete the process in a couple of weeks. Robert Lambert will spend 10 years in prison in connection to a deadly stabbing. Lambert pleaded guilty to manslaughter charges for the 2016 death of Jerry Staton. Today in court, Staton's sister talked about how the loss affected her family. Lambert apologized to the family. Timothy Bostic from Mayfield is charged with internet sex crime involving a minor. Detectives at the McCracken County Sheriff's Department say they began investigating Bostic earlier this month by posing as a 14-year-old girl on Facebook. Detectives say Bostic sent an inappropriate picture of himself to undercover investigators and asked for inappropriate pictures in return. Illinois State Police arrested Bostic at a home in Karnak, Illinois, yesterday. The agency in charge of these public housing units in Cairo, Illinois, will lay off employees. A statement from the Alexander County Housing Authority says the agency sent layoff notices to 19 employees today. Now, these cuts come as the Housing Authority struggles financially. A financial assessment done in April found the Housing Authority needs nearly $70 million to replace the Elmwood and McBride apartments. The Housing Authority has about $670,000 available. Tick season is here, and more cases of a deadly illness are popping up in vets' offices. Ticks are spreading a deadly disease, commonly called bobcat fever, by biting bobcats, then transmitting it to house cats. Veterinarians say that disease is almost 100% deadly without immediate treatment. Local 6's Logan Gay explains how you can help protect your cat.
Anita Power's cat named Lenny was diagnosed with bobcat fever last summer. She rushed him to the vet after remembering seeing a bobcat in her backyard. Her cat is just one of many that have been affected.
It's just unfortunate that a lot of our domestic cats are getting killed by this parasite.
Powers took her cat to the Creekside Vet Clinic in Murfreesboro. Dr. Patrice Isley said that over the past several years, the clinic has only been able to save 6 cats, including Lenny, that suffered from this disease.
Up until last year, we had 100% fatality.
Some of the symptoms include being withdrawn and change in appetite. Early prevention is the key to survival.
It's just very traumatic for a family. You shouldn't have to see your animals suffer that way.
Dr. Isley says that she's happy that she can at least offer cat owners hope. So far, the research has shown that the disease is not harmful to humans or dogs. In Carbondale, Illinois, Logan Gay, WPSD Local 6.
The Creekside Veterinary Clinic has been working with a PhD candidate in the SIU Department of Zoology to study bobcat fever. They hope to save more cats' lives. Well, ticks can also bite you. The steps you need to know to treat a tick bite. That's ahead of this week's What's Going Around.
And we're tracking that increase in rain showers, the chance as we head closer to the weekend coming up after the break. You're watching Local 6 at 10.
Your breaking news and weather authority with Todd Faulkner, Jennifer Horbelt, Weather Authority Jennifer Rukavina, and Jeff Bidwell Sports. You're watching Local 6 at 10 in high definition. WPSD Local 6, the Weather Authority, certified most accurate by Weather Rate.
All is quiet on the home front tonight, but we are tracking some storms to our northwest that are making their way through northern portions of Missouri and in Illinois, as well as Iowa tonight. Now, this complex of storms is going to die out overnight tonight, but it's going to spread some clouds our way. To the south, though, we're tracking this bit of energy that's working its way up from the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of moisture associated with this, and just the very northern fringe of this is actually going to be skirting the Local 6 area as we head through the day tomorrow, and that's going to give us a slight chance for some thunderstorms, mainly across Tennessee and Kentucky. That chance only about 20%, but just to be prepared, you want to take the umbrella just in case for tomorrow afternoon. But things are nice and quiet right now. You can see some of those clouds drifting in across the I-64 corridor back into the Ozarks. St. Louis area seeing a lot of that thicker cloud cover and just a few high clouds to paint a beautiful sunset across our area tonight. Right now, we've got partly cloudy skies. Temperature still very warm, 76 degrees, and a very light wind out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour. Barometer's holding steady at 29.96 inches, but we'll see that slowly go down over the next couple of days as we see our next weather maker head our direction. Overnight tonight, we'll continue with mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, so a few clouds from time to time. That'll be the case throughout the day tomorrow, too. 6 a.m. sunshine, temperatures already in the low 70s. It's going to be very warm and humid again tomorrow as temperatures make their way into the upper 80s, close to 90 degrees. We'll also see those rising dew points, which makes for a more humid atmosphere. We'll also give life to a few showers and thunderstorms. You can see by 2 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow during the heat of the day. You can see in Kentucky, Tennessee, and now will continue pretty much into the evening hours as well. Here's a look at 10 o'clock. Most of that activity is winding down, but we'll still see some lingering clouds from that. But then on Friday, our rain chance goes up to 30%. It may even get bumped up a little higher than that. As we start out in the morning Friday, we'll see some storms to the north, but a little piece of energy swings south into our area starting at 1 o'clock. Storms developing over portions of Missouri and Illinois, and this starts to swing south towards the Ohio River by 5 o'clock in the evening, and then eventually pushing out of the area during the overnight hours. But we're going to see more of this, more so as we go into Friday night and Saturday, with an increased chance for showers and storms as we start the upcoming weekend. Those of you taking a long holiday weekend, maybe 4 days to celebrate the 4th of July, you may want to have a plan B for some of those activities that you're planning outdoor. Tomorrow, that 20% chance, high of 90, 88 on Friday, at 30% chance of showers and storms. Saturday, as we get the weekend started, unfortunately, the 60% chance, the peak chance for showers and storms this weekend on Saturday. Then on Sunday, it's down to 30%, so a lot of drier time will make its way into the region by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, although we can't rule out a few thunderstorms. One thing's for sure, it's going to be a hot 4th of July with temperatures close to 90 degrees.
Remove, check, confirm, and monitor. Those are the steps to take if you discover a tick on you or a loved one. Local 6's Stephanie Martinez has who's seeing tick bites and more in this week's What's Going Around.
Dr. Joshua Whitledge from Tenova Primary Care in South Fulton, Tennessee, is taking care of tick bites and gastroenteritis. In Benton, Illinois, Dr. Brian Harrison is also seeing his fair share of tick bites. If a rash or any symptoms develop, it may require treatment. Also common this week, sinus infections. Nurse practitioner Jennifer Brown says people are visiting fast-paced Princeton with rashes developed after a tick bite. Poison ivy rashes, sinus infections, and allergies are other ailments she's treating. Dr. David Saxon at Baptist Health Urgent Care in Paducah is also treating tick bites, along with spider bites and poison ivy. For this week's What's Going Around, I'm Stephanie Martinez.
We continue our live team coverage from that explosion at Murray State. More of what's being done to keep the scene safe and when investigators could finally get into the building. We continue our breaking news coverage. Let's return now to my co-anchor, Local 6's Todd Faulkner, who is live at Murray State University tonight, where there was an explosion earlier tonight. And Todd, obviously still a messy situation out there. Investigators haven't even been able to get into the building. What kind of security is in place out there for the evening?
All right, so Jennifer, the security tonight is going to be at a couple of different levels, the state level, Kentucky State Police, as well as the county level. I've also noticed some security with Murray State University. And I've just learned new within the past 10 minutes that agents with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms are on scene here, I'm told, because of their expertise in explosives. We talked about the debris from the scene we showed you earlier. I can't go too far because there's still restrictions, but we're going to go in a little bit, and I want you to take a look over my shoulder. Look at all of the brick, the rocks, all of the insides of the building. I see steel. All of it blew out from that building, and it landed in the parking lot here behind me. It landed on some cars. I count 4 cars with debris on it. Those cars are damaged, and I'm told they're not going to move those cars until investigators have time and daylight to take a closer look. And some people said they showed up after hearing the explosion just to see if they could help. You said that you kind of wanted to come over here and see what was going on.
Right.
Why exactly?
Well, because when we found out on Facebook that there was an explosion, we wanted to see, if anybody needed help with anything, if we could be assistant to anybody. And we came over here and seen that it was taped off, just for, safety reasons, which is good that the local police department did their job on that. Yeah. And we've seen the destruction.
And again, just to recap, right now, no activity inside this damaged dorm because they're waiting on structural engineers to sign off and give the okay for crews and investigators to actually go in and start their investigation. Live in Murray, Kentucky, Todd Faulkner, WPSD Local 6.
All right, Todd, thanks for the update. We're going to continue to follow this developing story overnight on our web channel, WPSDLocal6.com, and of course tomorrow morning with live reports on Local 6 Today. To get breaking news right to your phone, download the WPSD News app and enable push alerts.
Last month, St. Louis Cardinals sent struggling Randall Grichuk to the minors to let him work his way out of his slump. Since returning to the Bigs, Grichuk has shown improvement. Now the team's hoping the same move will help Aledmys Diaz today, sending him to AAA Memphis. He was an all-star last year. He's been vocal about how he's not comfortable at the plate this season, so he's going to AAA. Without Diaz, Cardinals are going to make it avoid back-to-back losses to the Diamondbacks. Yadier Molina, a 2-run single, part of a 3-run fourth inning. Adam Wainwright has worked out of some jams early. It's 3-1 Cardinals. They lead the D-backs in the 5th. Cubs looking to avoid a second straight loss in Washington to the Nationals, and Washington got off to a good start, already up 1-0. It's Anthony Rendon in the second inning. That's a solo home run, made it 2-0. Very next pitch, it's Matt Wieters taking John Lackey up and out, solo home run, 3-0 Washington. Into the 5th now, time to add injury to insult for the Cubs. Wieters is up again. Pop fly to third base. Chris Bryant going to take his time here and make the catch, but he steps on the third base bag as he makes the catch, rolls his ankle, had to leave the game. X-rays are negative. Definitely out tomorrow. They'll see if they have to send him to the disabled list. Nationals, they get the win tonight over the Cubs. 8-4 is the final.
Jeff, thanks. We continue to follow that explosion at Murray State University. My colleague Todd Faulkner is live on campus tonight. We're going to check back in with him. Todd?
All right, so Jennifer, the big takeaway, if you're just joining us and through overnight into the morning hours, is this: an explosion here at New Richmond Residence Hall earlier today. 2 people injured, 1 treated on scene and went home. The other one flown to Vanderbilt for additional treatment. What I just learned in the past few minutes is that right now we're not expecting any new information over the course of the evening. And the game plan is all of the agencies will come together tomorrow morning to come up with a plan on how best to proceed. I'm going to step out and leave you tonight with a final look at the situation here at Murray State University, where people felt shock and at times fear when an explosion happened, tearing an enormous hole in New Richmond Hall residence. And take a look at that as we say good night to you this evening. Again, be sure to check with us throughout the day tomorrow and, of course, online at WPSDLocal6.com. You can always find updates and newest information as we receive it on Twitter. For all of us at WPSD Local 6, have a good night.
Tracking breaking news right now. This is Local 6 at 6.
A massive response.
From law enforcement.
We got a witness says he's possibly in the weight room. Tonight, but I'm still seeing buses on the road.
To staff and parents moving students to safety.
Students, in the building, please! In the tech center!
All patients have been transported.
Tonight, a community and state mobilized for those injured, killed, and touched by this tragedy.
Central to Red Cross, central to the Red Cross members. Please respond.
Joining hands and hearts.
Pray for those who were affected today.
Well, that mass shooting happened this morning at Marshall County High School.
2 students are dead, 17 other people are injured. We have new video of the shooting suspect leaving the Marshall County Jail. Now, police have not identified the suspect. He's in the back seat of this car that you're looking at. 2 sources have confirmed state police are transporting him to a juvenile facility. We're continuing to follow this developing aspect of the story. Now, the school is on High School Road just off Highway 68 in Marshall County. The shooting happened at 7:57. The first 911 call came in at 7:59. First responders arrived on scene at 8:06 a.m. And this is where we're told the shootings took place. This is a picture of the Commons area at the high school.
And this is video from Lourdes Hospital in Paducah, where Mercy Regional Ambulances unloaded a person in a stretcher. Our photographer spoke quickly to a Benton police officer who said he brought 2 shooting victims in his vehicle. There was also a Benton police car in front of Lourdes.
We have also learned all Marshall County schools are not in session tomorrow. Instead, there will be several counseling centers set up across the school district for you to access.
Local 6's Amanda Roberts joins us live from the Marshall County Board of Education office tonight, where a news conference is scheduled to take place shortly. So, Amanda, any idea on when that's set to start?
Well, Jen, yeah, I'm right here at the news conference. We don't really know when it's going to start. We anticipate it'll start sometime soon, and we're really just hoping to get those questions answered. Earlier in the news conference, we really just got the bare minimum. We heard from Kentucky State Police Michael Webb. We also heard from the governor this morning. I will tell you, I did see some Kentucky State Police vehicles outside of this building, and really just trying to get those questions answered again. Information about the shooter, information about victims, victims. We really still just have a lot of questions now, and I think we're going to turn.
The FBI and the ATF are also
At 7:57 a.m. this morning, a 15-year-old male student walked into the school with a pistol in his hand, immediately opened fire, striking 14 people. There were a total of 19 injured. 14 suffered gunshot wounds. Of those 14, 2 are deceased. 1 died at the scene, 15-year-old female Bailey Nicole Holt, H-O-L-T. There were a total of 6 transported to Vanderbilt Hospital. 1 died at the hospital. 15-year-old male Preston Ryan Cope, C-O-P-E.
You're watching live a news conference where investigators are updating members of the media and members of the public on the ongoing investigation involving the deadly shooting at Marshall County High School earlier today. Some of the things that the big takeaways here, we have now learned the names of the 2 students who died, both 15-year-olds, a Bailey Nicole Holt and a Preston Ryan Cope, both 15, the 2 victims in this case who have passed on.
One of probably the most heart-wrenching parts of that, I thought, was he was talking about the first responders who all went out to that scene and how tough it is for first responders and the emergency folks that have to respond to this. In fact, he said one of the troopers initially went in and saw the young lady, Bailey Nicole Holt, who had passed away, and he thought it was his own daughter. And so this is an extremely personal situation for all of the people that are directly impacted, but frankly, the entire community. So he was mentioning, the commissioner of Kentucky State Police was saying, we really need to keep those first responders in our prayers.
And the commissioner also saying that the investigation will continue, obviously, tonight into tomorrow. We know you have questions, and we have questions as this situation continues to unfold. You're watching WPST Local 6 at 6. We'll be right back.
We continue to cover the shooting today at Marshall County High School, and we have audio from the Caldwell County 911 Dispatch Center from this morning, the moment officers were called to the scene on that active shooter situation.
Let's take a listen.
If you can respond to Marshall County High School. Marshall County High School active shooter. People down, 1 unresponsive, the shooter's still on. They're advising, as far as they know, it's 1 shooter. He is still on scene. They've got everybody responding. They know for sure at this time 4 people are down, 1 is unresponsive in the com.
Well, Local 6's Bryce Mansfield has been on the scene all day for us.
Bryce spoke with law enforcement and other people. He joins us live. Bryce, what have you been able to find out?
Yeah, well, guys, I'll just tell you right now, it has been an extremely emotional and heart-wrenching day for this community here. I spoke with law enforcement officials and parents as I was out on scene at Marshall County High School earlier. And it's been a big shift from complete shock to now it's starting to set in now that we've seen some time pass by. We're actually here at the Sheriff's Department where the suspect was transported around 4 o'clock this afternoon. He was taken away in a Kentucky State Police trooper car. Now, I did speak with 2 students that go to that school. They're both brothers, and they say that they're just trying to come to grips with what happened today.
A scene of fear and chaos at Marshall County High School after students and administrators heard sounds of popping and screaming.
Whenever the shooter started shooting, I thought it was just some kid lighting off firecrackers or fireworks, and I looked back and I saw someone shooting.
After realizing that it wasn't a prank and he was in the midst of a school shooting, 15-year-old Ethan Holder says he ran for his life.
First thought it was just start running away and get to cover or something.
As shots left the barrel of the suspect's gun, Ethan's brother Eric was on his way into school.
All these kids are running everywhere, going on the side of the road, and then I rolled down my window and somebody told me there was a school shooting. And that's whenever I was like, oh my gosh, like this school, I don't know.
Simultaneously, Ethan and Eric's mom, Kara, was anxiously waiting to get to her 2 boys. She says she never would have thought this would happen here.
It's chaotic, and it can happen anywhere. Even though we don't think it would happen here, it'll definitely be a wake-up call for our community as well.
As they cope and recover, Ethan says he and his brother are nervous, anticipating the day they return to hallways filled with memories of Tuesday's tragedy.
It's a good school. The teachers and everyone here are pretty nice, so it sort of makes me question why someone would want to shoot it up.
Well, I was just kind of sitting and reflecting after I spoke with both of those students. I mean, these are kids, and no kid should have to be fearful to go to school and learn and develop and grow and be fearful that they'll walk in and get shot. So I just can't imagine how those two are feeling tonight. I can't imagine how the families of the two deceased are feeling, but my prayers and sincerest sympathies go out to them and this community. So if you are in this community, you outside of this community, send all of your prayers, your love, and your support to this community, because they can definitely use it here in Marshall County. In Marshall County, Bryce Mansfield, WPSD, Local 6.
Bryce, thank you. We'll be right back.
WPSD Local 6, your breaking news and weather authority. This is Local 6 at 10, the election edition, The Vote, America's future.
We are tracking the results from today's elections. Your vote on America's future.
This midterm election will decide if Republicans keep their control of the U.S. House and Senate or lose the majority to Democrats. And we are starting to get a better idea of that tonight.
All right, let's bring you up to speed. Here's a look at the balance of power in Congress. Democrats need 23 seats to win control of the House and 17 in the Senate. Now, these were the Senate seats up for grabs in today's election. The states that are lightly shaded means the race is too close to call at the moment. You can see that in the Local 6 area, Tennessee elected a Republican. The Missouri race has not yet been called.
Let's go ahead and check in with one of the closest and most expensive Senate races in the country. In Tennessee, Republican Representative Marsha Blackburn faced former Tennessee Governor Phil Bredesen.
And let's look at the numbers, Jennifer. Marsha Blackburn well ahead of Phil Bredesen now with 56% of the vote, and that has actually been called for Marsha Blackburn, the Republican beating out the Democratic favorite there, Phil Bredesen. And she will succeed retiring Republican Senator Bob Corker. The former U.S. representative joked about her job title.
Now you don't have to worry if you're going to call me Congressman or Congresswoman or Congress Lady. Now, Senator will do.
Let's head now to Missouri. Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill facing Republican Attorney General Josh Hawley. McCaskill was seeking a third term in the Senate. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results. Of course, McCaskill, the incumbent right now, she stands at 50% of the vote to Hawley's 47%, but it's important to note here only 20% of the precincts reporting, so still a long way to go in this race. To the House race now. In Kentucky, Republican Representative James Comer facing off against Democrat Paul Walker. Comer seeking another term to represent Congressional District 1. This race has been called. 100% of the precincts reporting. Comer, the incumbent, winning it 69% to Walker's 31%.
And that was pretty much a lock for James Comer. Not a surprise there this evening. For Kentucky's 6th district now, Republican Representative Andy Barr versus Democrat Amy McGrath. This was one that people were watching, and we now know why. Look at those numbers. Yes, Andy Barr, the incumbent Republican, did in fact win tonight and has been declared the winner. But look at that. In a conservative Republican state like Kentucky, Amy McGrath, a Democrat, achieved 48% of that vote. But that race is done. Andy Barr now the winner. To Tennessee, Republican Representative David Kustoff versus Democrat Erica Stotts Pearson versus Independent James Hart. A three-way race here, and with nearly 100% of precincts reporting, it is clear that the incumbent David Kustoff has won that race.
In Illinois, Republican Representative Mike Bost seeking another term to represent District 12 in Congress. He faced Democrat Brendan Kelly and Green Party's Randall Oxer. 55% of the precincts reporting here. Bost, of course, the incumbent, and right now he's leading it pretty handily with 59% of the vote to Kelly's 38%. Oxer trailing at 3%. In a race for Illinois District 15, Shimkus, the incumbent, John Shimkus, he is the declared winner here with 72% of the vote to the challenger, Kevin Gaither, who had 28% of the vote. Again, 84% of the precincts reporting, but this one has been called. And Shimkus actually released this statement in response to his win. It reads, "I'm thankful to the people of the central and southern Illinois area for allowing me to continue representing them in Washington, and I promise to continue doing so honestly, with passion, and with a good work ethic. It's an honor to serve in Congress, and I pray God will continue helping me do so to the best of my ability."
We're going to stay in Illinois, where we've seen those fierce attack ads recently, and tonight a flip for Illinois in the state's governor's race.
Democrat billionaire J.B. Pritzker won against Republican Bruce Rauner. This was called shortly after 7 tonight, very, very early. Here are the official numbers in what, again, is a called race here. J.B. Pritzker with 55% of the vote to the incumbent Bruce Rauner's 39%. Republican Bill Lee, the projected winner in the Tennessee governor's race. He defeated Democrat and former Nashville Mayor Carl Dean. Speaking in Nashville, Lee promised to be the governor for everyone in Tennessee.
From the bottom of my heart, I care about you, and I care about your family, and I'm going to do everything I can for those who didn't vote for me to ultimately make them be proud that I am their governor.
Current Governor Bill Haslam posted this statement congratulating Lee. It reads, "Congratulations to Governor-elect Bill Lee on a well-run race. Tennesseans have made a great choice for our next governor. Bill Lee is a man with strong character and love for our state and will make the right decisions to keep Tennessee moving forward. I am excited to see what this state will accomplish under his leadership."
And we're just getting started. Hour-long worth of special coverage. More election results after the break,
including Kentucky state races. Stay with us.
Tonight's election coverage is brought to you by Paducah Bank and Range America.
All right, we're back. Voters in Marshall, Lyon, parts of McCracken counties have a new representative to speak for them in Frankfort.
The race for Kentucky's 6th district was open after Representative Will Coursey ran for Marshall County Judge Executive. Let's go ahead and get to the numbers. The race was between Democrat Linda Story Edwards and Republican Chris Freeland. The result, this one's called. Chris Freeland wins at 65% to Linda Story Edwards' 35%.
All right, we want to stay in Illinois at the state level. Republican Senator, this is not Illinois. This is Kentucky. Republican Senator Danny Carroll in the state Senate 2nd District. He handily beat his challenger, Democratic candidate Julie Tennyson. Final vote here, final call with 100% of precincts reporting. Danny Carroll, again, the incumbent, walking away with 63% of the vote. All right, Local 6's Thomas Capps following both races for us.
He joins us live from Marshall County. So, Thomas, what are the results looking like in those races?
Well, as you just said, for the state 2nd Senate District, things are looking really good for incumbent Danny Carroll with 100% of the precincts reporting. Danny Carroll has 62% of the vote compared to Julie Tennyson's 38% of the vote. We spoke earlier this evening with incumbent Danny Carroll, and he says that overall he feels humbled to be heading back to Frankfort for a second term.
I'm just honored to serve the last 4 years, and we were prepared either way, and we worked really hard through this, had a lot of support.
And in the House 6 race, as you mentioned earlier, Chris Freeland, the Republican, winning in that race. Linda Story Edwards calling him earlier in the evening to concede with 64% of the vote compared to Edwards' 36%. Freeland says that overall he's ready to head to Frankfort and represent his district at the state's capital.
Really, it hasn't sunk in yet, to be honest with you, and it's something I have said from the beginning. And working in local broadcasting, you kind of learn how to serve the community, and that's just what I want to do.
So again, for the 2nd state Senate race, Danny Carroll heading back for a second term, and for the 6th House race, Chris Freeland heading to Frankfort to represent the 6th District. Reporting live in Marshall County, Thomas Capps, WPSD, Local 6.
Thomas, thank you. The District 6 State House seat is currently held by Will Coursey, who ran for Marshall County Judge Executive. Now, this is another open race at the state level. For the 3rd District Kentucky State House, Democrat Martha Emmons takes on Republican Randy Bridges, and the result, as you can see here, this one's called. Randy Bridges wins at 53% to Martha Emmons' 47%. Current Representative Gerald Watkins is running for Paducah City Commissioner, and we'll get to those results later on in the newscast.
That's right. Local 6's Pauline Fitzgerald is following the Bridges Emmons race for us, and she joins us now. What'd you learn?
Here you go.
Oh, we reached out to Bridges, but he said he did not want to speak on camera until votes were finalized. So we're going to speak to him tomorrow.
Okay, good to know. Pauline, thank you. So to other state house races in Kentucky. This is for the 1st District, Kentucky State Representative. 1st District, again, Stephen Rudy, the incumbent here with 67% of the vote to Desiree Owens, 33% of the vote. Moving on now to State Representative 2nd District, another one that is called. Richard Heath, the incumbent, winning this one, 69% to the challenger, Charlotte Goddard, with 31% of the vote. And moving on, Kentucky State Representative, 4th District, Lynn Beckler, the incumbent, winning that one too, 63% to Abigail Barnes, 37%. Finally, Kentucky State Representative, 5th District, Republican Larry Elkins taking on Democrat David Ramey. Larry Elkins winning this one, 58% to Ramey's 42%.
And Local 6's Chris Yu is following that race for us in Callaway County. All right, Chris, tell us about tonight's results.
Well, after all 24 precincts in Callaway County have reported in, we are learning that Republican Larry Elkins has won the 5th District State Representative seat. He beat Democrat David Ramey, 56% of the vote to 43% of the votes. Now, the 5th District State Representative seat also includes part of Trigg County, so we're still waiting for numbers there. But in Callaway County, Elkins has won the 5th District State Representative seat. Now, the former judge executive of 19 years told me what his priorities are when he gets to the state legislature.
Locally, we have some highway projects in Callaway County. We want to get 4-lane and 641 done. We want to make sure that Highway 80 in Trigg County is complete and open, and the final bridge is open. So a lot of issues to work on in the state legislature. We have budget issues, pension issues, on and on and on. So excited to go to work.
Meanwhile, Republican Kenny Imes has won the Callaway County Judge Executive seat. We'll talk with him a little bit later on in the show, and we have more information on the next Murray mayor. For now, live at the Callaway County Courthouse, Chris Yu, WPSD Local 6.
All right, Chris, thank you for that update. Let's go now to the race for Kentucky State Senate, 4th District. And here you see with 100% of precincts reporting, Robbie Mills has beat the incumbent J. Dorsey Ridley, 51% to 49%. That race hasn't officially been called, but these are the numbers we're getting in right at this hour. We're back with more election results right after this.
This is Local 6 at 5.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 24th ever Barbecue on the River. Thousands of people are coming down to the Paducah Riverfront to experience something very unique to our area. Of course, we want to let you know that the real big story today is the hearing involving Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, the testimony by Dr. Ford, who was accused of sexual assault. That's a big story. We've got a lot of things to process about that. We're going to get to that big story in just a little bit, but you know, Brianna, it's all about having fun and eating good food, right?
It really is. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of energy in the air right now, and you just see people walking down the street munching, and it makes you hungry.
Yeah, 90,000 pounds of meat is going to be consumed in that three-day period.
Lot of meat.
40 to 50,000 people are going to be here. Those are some pretty impressive numbers.
Yeah, and since Barbecue on the River started, they've raised over $500,000 raised to date for local charities and beyond, benefiting 75 charities here today. And we've got groups from all over. I talked to a group earlier from Louisiana.
Louisiana, we've got people from the north, we've got visitors, we've got lots of great stories we're going to share, and we got lots of great food too. Check this out. This is real quickly, the 3 Pig Nachos. It is number 23. It's from The Farm, and
guys,
this,
there's bacon
yeah,
on
look
it.
at that.
There's
bacon
on it.
Bacon, let's see, bacon, sour cream, queso, cheddar, barbecue sauce, jalapenos.
Pork rinds.
And it benefits the Ballard Bullets. That's a Little League team, and it also benefits Avis Hope. So this is actually something new this year. It's all I can do is not to take a big bite.
Yeah, I'm
I'm really excited.
All right, news of the day. Let's go back to the studio with Local 6's Thomas Capps.
Happening now. Let's head back to downtown Paducah now for this year's barbecue on the river. Todd, Jen?
All right, welcome back. And, you know, something that is pretty cool here, in addition to all of the food and tents, we've been hearing, what, My Old Kentucky Home.
Yes,
Right.
adding to the atmosphere tonight, as far as we know, the Mississippi Queen or the American Queen riverboat is
out
down
there.
on the river, and they're playing My Old Kentucky Home, which just adds to the beautiful atmosphere out here tonight.
Talk about atmosphere, something we didn't mention at the top of the newscast. This weather is incredible. Nothing like we've seen in years, right?
Right. Not since I've been here. I haven't experienced a cooler barbecue on the river. That's exactly what you're going to get this evening as we look for those cooler temperatures to continue to filter into our region tonight. And as we take a look at the forecast throughout the rest of this evening, let's go ahead and show that. You can see there, temperatures will be dropping off pretty quickly into the 50s by 9 and 10. So if you're going to be out here later this evening, strolling along the riverfront, expect those dry skies and decreasing clouds with temperatures in the mid 50s. That means you might need to grab a light jacket, Todd.
All right,
That
well.
sun will go down and it'll start to get pretty chilly pretty quickly down here.
It's incredible. We're not standing here doing these live newscasts
Not
with beads
sweating,
of sweat
yeah.
coming down.
It's great.
All right, lots of great stories as we mentioned, and Local 6's Brianna Clark joins us now for a great story. Brianna.
You guys, check this out. This is turning heads. Typically when you see a fire truck, you smell smoke. But here it's nothing but the smell of good old barbecue. Firefighters in Minnesota used to fight fires with this truck. Then a group from Louisiana took it over and converted it into a kitchen. They traveled nearly 600 miles to be at Barbecue on the River. And get this, the truck tops out at 59 miles an hour and gets around 6 to 7 miles to the gallon. It's a pretty long trip to get here, and it was all to bring a little taste of Louisiana to West Kentucky.
That's how we do it in Louisiana.
Things are heating up at the Louisiana Fire Company. If you're looking for something different to try at Barbecue on the River, these guys have got you covered. They've got jambalaya and boudin, and they're all fun Louisiana favorites. And get this, guys, on Saturday, they're serving alligator. Back to you.
Pretty sure there's some taste testers out there willing to come down and try all those things.
And you know, she mentioned the boudin. Here it is, the boudin. All right.
yeah.
We've got lots more from Barbecue on the River, so don't go anywhere. As we leave you, we'll take another live look high above where we are this evening. You're watching Local 6 at 5.
Your breaking news and weather authority with Todd Faulkner, Jennifer Horbelt, and weather authority Jennifer Rukavina. You're watching Local 6 at 5. Here are your hosts, Jennifer Horbelt and Todd Faulkner.
Welcome, everyone, to our St. Jude Dream Home Giveaway Show, one of our favorite times of the year. This is a great time to get together and do this.
Absolutely, because it is such a great cause. It's something
It
that we
is.
look forward to every year because, Jennifer, of what we're seeing right behind us. These are the faces of kids that have been treated and kids that are now living wonderful lives.
Yeah, and we talk about the impact that St. Jude Children's Research Hospital has made. When it opened in 1962, there was just a 20% survival rate for kids who were fighting cancer. Now, that number is more than 80%. That's unbelievable. So St. Jude's made a huge impact.
And let's keep the success going.
Yeah.
And that is thanks in part to wonderful things like the St. Jude Dream Home giveaway. And guess what, Jennifer? We need to get the phones ringing. That's
We
where
do.
you, if you have not already, need to call and buy that ticket. And there are so few left at this point. So
There are.
let's get the tickets sold today.
Yeah, let's go ahead and put the phones on the hook there, and let's get those phones ringing. We do not have very many tickets left, folks. We are going to sell out. Every year we sell out. So we've got some fabulous volunteers over there who are standing by, who are waiting for your call. The number is on your screen, 1-800-382-8604.
All right. They are very nice, volunteer their time.
Yeah.
Let's get them working
Yes.
and picking up those fines. Right now, let's go out to Local 6's Mike Mallory, and he is in the St. Jude Dream Home. Mike, hello.
Hello, guys. Good afternoon. And yes, this is the day, the 13th
Dream Home in Paducah. I say this every year, but I think this is my favorite. I've been here for every one of those. A lot of you have come out and seen this home in Cimarron Cove subdivision. Thousands, in fact, have come to the open houses. For those of you who haven't been able to get out, we're going to give you a walking tour with the builder. He's sitting right there, Phil Franklin from Jetta Homes. And we'll also talk to some of the success stories from St. Jude, like Caden Mitchison. We met him this summer. That's Ryan Otten. 5 years ago, we profiled Ryan.
Couple times around there to get it going. And Jennifer, we actually have a special guest who's going to be pulling the winning ticket.
Mary Browder, who was here earlier, a patient of St. Jude, who is doing great. Mary is going to pull the ticket, and you're going to hand it off to us to read the winner. So everybody at home is crossing their fingers that you're their lucky gal.
All right, the
Here
time
we go.
is. Oh, and also before we do that, Mary, we want to remind folks, if you know the winner, relative, friend, or otherwise, do not call them because we want to call them so we can have them on the air. So I know you're going to be excited. You're going to want to text and call them.
Don't call them.
Don't do it yet. So, all right, we got that disclaimer in there. Mary, go for it.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. Okay.
There it is.
Mary pulled Judy Andrews of South Fulton, Tennessee. Judy Andrews of South Fulton, Tennessee. If you know Judy, don't call her.
We're going to.
Yeah, we're going to try to call her, but congratulations again. Judy Andrews of South Fulton, Tennessee is the winner of this year's St. Jude Dream Home.
All right, we're going to reach out to Judy, so we'll be right back.